Hey guys, welcome back. As I mentioned, we're just going to start knocking out some videos. We're going to start picking some different stocks that we'd like to buy if the market legs down like we think it possibly could. We're very neutral here. A lot of the indices are starting to compress into tighter ranges. We're starting to see a possibility that the QQQ could roll over. If that happens, I think that's the beginning of your next leg down. But we're open to the possibility of anything. We'll wait for the market to kind of tell us what it wants to do. Obviously, Monday morning is going to be probably tough for oil based on the news over the weekend. So we're going to be watching oil, but we also want to have a list of stocks that we want to buy for long-term holders. The MACD is still well below the mid-range line on the weekly for the S&P 500, which I'm not showing here. I'm showing an individual stock here just to mention to the long-term holders that we do not have a buy signal. There's a lot of technical damage done longer term, and we're going to need to see that repaired. It's going to take time. I don't expect a V rebound here based on the economies. Obviously, we're trading the market, not the economics. We're not trading the economy, but they are both correlated, and at some point they will trend in line with each other, although the market's a discounting mechanism that usually thinks ahead of the economy. So that's the movement you're seeing in the market. If we do leg down, let's get a group of stocks that I think are going to be strong stocks to hold and possibly buy. My first pick is ResMed, RMD. They've been doing fine on their own. They are the number one CPAP machine maker. CPAP's been in the news for a while, not just for sleep apnea and snores, but for all the scientific studies that have been done to link, sleep apnea to things like Alzheimer's, dementia, the importance of sleep, and all these different things that have come out in the news recently have made them a strong company, both fundamentally and, as you can see here, pretty much technically as well. So will they be immune to a leg down in the market? Absolutely not. They will pull back as well. The macros are always, controlling even the micro market. So you're going to see pushbacks from the top end down on even the best companies, including Amazon. And that's what we're kind of looking for, the Amazons and Microsofts. If we start to roll over, that's going to be your last leg down. That's going to be the signal that we're starting this next move to the 195 area in SPY that we're looking for. We just don't know which comes first. Do we retrace the Fibonacci to the upside? Do we get a relief rally based on some significant news? I'm also going to include a link below in the description of a Twitch site that I'll be on later with an interview, a local mayor here, ex-mayor in Florida that I'll be talking to. And I'll also, you guys can send me your emails. I'll have my email link in there as well. And you guys can email me if you're interested in getting an email from me, just kind of my thoughts on the market. They're going to be nothing specific times, just random thoughts here and there. And I could correspond that way with you guys. I used to have a newsletter, as I mentioned before, with 300 subscribers, but I've kind of pulled away from that given that my business took off and started to flourish. I focused on that. Now getting back into the market a little bit, if you want to send me your email, I'll also send you an email that I was corresponding with one of the major CEOs for top 5 biggest companies in the world this morning, and I'll obviously redact his personal information, but you'll get the gist of it. He lives in Manhattan with my sister, and he just created like an algorithm. Guy's super intelligent, just an algorithm based on what his thoughts are on the virus and when it will peak, and his personal opinions on what the death rate will be, et cetera, and I'll include in the email thread my response and my thoughts on the market, which probably is a little bit easier to elaborate in writing rather than in a video, which I'm not the best at producing here. So let's start thinking about some stocks that if we do leg down that we want to buy and where we want to buy them at. These are some bulletproofs that I think. Let's start with ResMed, R-E-S-M-E-D is the name of the company. RMD is a ticker symbol, Robert Mary David. As I mentioned, they do, or maybe I did not mention, but they do the CPAP machines. Extremely popular. Here's the technicals, very strong recently. They might get a pop on Monday because they're actually going to switch gears here a little bit, and within their wheelhouse still, they're going to be looking to make the ventilators that are saving so many lives. And I think the ventilator theme, although we've talked about the mask theme over and over and some of the personal protection equipment, the PEPEs, I think the ventilator is going to be the theme going forward for months and months, if not years. I think the economy is going to have to reopen regardless of where we're at in the virus, because we can't go much longer before we start to implode here. And I think it's just going to be a battle of, can we produce enough, medication, viral medication? Can we produce enough ventilators to to combat this, because if that's the case, then we're going to expect that the hospitals are going to be inundated, and that this is going to be a pandemic theme moving forward that could revisit and re-emerge if we have to open up the economy to keep things going. You'll probably get a secondary wave of of infections, and we're just going to have to find a way to battle that. Obviously, the respirators and ventilators are in ResMed's wheelhouse. So if they shift gears here and start producing those as well as their CPAP machines, here's a strong company as a standalone, regardless of that, and they're going to be looking good. We want to start buying it if they do leg down under 121. That's the closing price back from the 23rd, and obviously right now it's in a positive light. Just the three indicators that we're looking at now currently that we tweaked, it's above all those. It's also above the descending line from a simple top channel that we created on this bull flag. And starting to pull away. The MACD is gaining volume incrementally. This is what we like to see technically. We're getting some separation on the MACD. Increased volume on increased pricing is a beautiful thing. This looks like a strong stock. If the market holds together, I think you could see 163, 164. If we start to roll over, then we want to add to that. So there's RMD. Even tomorrow, if we have a slight pullback and we start to see the QQQs roll, we want to step away from this. We don't want to try to time this thing and buy it. Intraday rebounds, obviously this one will be strong, but I would not carry it overnight because we still are possibly in a rollover situation where we think we're going to hit lower prices on SPY, but we'll wait and let the market dictate which way we go. But this is when we want to buy RMD, and we'll start going through some of these later on. I'll also include those links that I described below in the description, and we'll go from